Today I'm reading from the Black Panther newspaper from August 16th, 1969, and on the front cover are Kathleen and Eldridge Cleaver. I'm reading this article called Revolution is Inevitable. Every man has the right to receive an education, to learn all that human history, technology, and science have to offer. This right must not and cannot be denied, because the only way that any man can survive, can cope with his environment, is if he is fully aware of the things that make up his environment, of the things that aim towards his destruction, and of the things that aid him in his struggle for total liberation. We are all involved in that struggle for liberation. At this stage of human history and development, all oppressed people throughout the world are involved in the struggle against fascism, racist pig cops, demagogic politicians, avaricious, greedy businessmen. The people of Vietnam have been unjustly subjected to the racist, imperialist, capitalistic, reactionary forces that place material gain before human life. It might appear that in standing up against the United States, the mightiest of all the imperialism, that history has imposed too great a task upon the Vietnamese people. But they are achieving their freedom in a way that has aroused the admiration of mankind. The people of Ethiopia are struggling against feudal oppression and the fascist military forces of the United States, who, along with Ethiopian pig Haile Selassie, have made a fascist bargain. Pig Nixon and Selassie met in Washington, D.C. on June 7th to renew the agreement between the U.S. to suppress all opposition to Haile Selassie's reactionary regime in return for maintaining the most important U.S. fascist pig military base on African soil, despite the bombing of whole Ethiopian villages, the kidnapping and murdering of Ethiopian students, peasants, and workers. The Ethiopian people have resolved to struggle against fascism in Ethiopia until all of their just demands are met, until all political prisoners are freed, and they say to the world that no amount of repression will stop their struggle. The people of America struggle against the same racist pig cops who function as protectors of the fascist power structure, occupying the black communities in the same manner and for the same reasons that the fascist U.S. armed forces occupy Vietnam. The greedy businessmen who need those forces to protect themselves against the people in Latin America who are refusing to let the robbery of their communities to go a step further are the same greedy businessmen who rob the people in the black colonies in America. The lying politicians who oink in the faces of other oppressed countries are the same greasy pigs who oink in the faces of black and other oppressed people in this country. The slavery of blacks in this country provides the oil for the machinery of war that America uses to enslave the peoples of the world. Without this oil, the machinery cannot function. We are the driving shaft. We are in such a strategic position that once we become dislocated, the functioning of the remainder of that machinery breaks down. Penned up in the ghettos of America, surrounded by his factories and all the physical components of his economic system, we have been made into the wretched of the earth, who are relegated to the position of spectators while the capitalists run the international con game on the suffering peoples. When the Black Panther Party called for a united front against fascism, it was because there is a need for all groups that oppose the dehumanization, the economic and social exploitation, the brutality and murder, and the miseducation being used by the reactionaries to standing in the way of the people's natural and social development. The pigs are determined to deny black people the right to receive an education. They know that if people were exposed to the truth about this decadent American society, they would refuse to let the fascists continue to exist. The Black Panther Party is an armed body for carrying out the political tasks of the revolution. We realize that it is going to take a revolution for black people to attain freedom, the power to determine their own destiny, to get full employment for our people, decent housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. The Black Panther Party defends itself with guns, not merely for the sake of defending itself, but to organize the people, arm them, and help them to establish revolutionary political power. We are here to serve the people by educating them, exposing the true nature of this decadent American society. The Black Panther Party has initiated a program to serve free breakfasts to our children. This exposed the avaricious, greedy businessmen in black communities nationwide. The liberation schools being instituted in all branches and chapters are schools in which our children can receive true education. Without knowledge of our history and our role in the present-day society, we have little chance to relate to anything else. Revolutionaries have been jailed and revolutionaries have been murdered by the pigs in their fascistic attempts to stop the revolution. Pure fascism is here. Illegal searches, phony charges, high bails, massive arrests. The charges made against the Black Panther Party are examples of the lies perpetuated by a system which thrives on the oppression of the masses of the people. All of their actions are done in the guise of democracy, law and order. All of the reactionary, racist, imperialistic fascists are beginning to see that they can no longer miseducate with each representative action taken by those reactionary fools. More and more people are becoming aware of the fact that the so-called educational institutions are pig factories being protected by fascist forces to uphold, maintain, and teach people to support the fascists. Students all over the U.S. have demonstrated, held sit-ins, protested the institutions. As Eldridge said, in the final analysis, the struggle that is now going on in the college campuses cannot be settled on the campuses. It has to be settled in the community. No amount of repression will stop the Black Panther Party in its struggle against fascism. Revolutions and revolutionary wars are inevitable in class society, and without them, it is impossible to accomplish any leap in social development and to overthrow the reactionary ruling classes, and therefore impossible for the people to win political power. The reactionary forces can jail a revolutionary, but they can't jail a revolution. All power to the people. Beth Mitchell, Black Panther Party, Harlem Branch, Minister of Information.